Hey guys, so it's Maddie, and I am so excited to finally be doing this after nearly, oh gosh, like 2 years. 2 years I've wanted to have a YouTube account, and I'm so excited. As you can see, it's probably not the best setup. I don't have a camera, I'm using my school iPad, but you know what? It's okay. You get there eventually. So, for today's tutorial, I'm going to try to do something more summertime, fall, because everybody's into neutrals, everybody's into dark makeup. So, what I kind of have planned on doing is kind of like a plummy, really golden, shimmery, very highlighted, very contoured look. Kind of more so for the later summer because, you know, it is August here. It's going to be fall soon. So, I kind of want to do something a little bit more appropriate to that. But I'm so excited to finally be doing this. Hopefully I get better. I want to keep doing it. You know, it's a work in progress. You have to start somewhere. But I really hope you all enjoy, and I hope this helps you guys. So I've already primed my face. I moisturized with my intensive healing lotion that I always have to use. I have very dry skin, and I wanted to wait and do this on camera. But I have always found when I do like cream contour products, like some sort of, not really intensifier, but an enhancer works because, you know, cream products are so heavy, including on dry skin. So I always like to use my MAC Fix Plus, and I like to really spritz my face really good. I like to just kind of let it air dry because you don't want to put a product on top of something that's going to be wet, and your makeup's just going to look super muddy. And a little disclaimer, like, I know I look super pale, it's just the lighting that I had, but I also fake tan, so my foundation's going to look probably super dark on me, but I promise it matches. When it oxidizes, it all goes on. So the type of foundation I use is, let me take it up, is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1. This foundation is super good. Like, I prefer Estee Lauder Double Wear, but I'm kind of out of it right now. So this has been a super great alternative. It's a great dupe. Does amazing. And to buff this into my skin, I'm going to use the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Now, I have noticed when I do thicker foundations, typically I like to use like the Miracle Sponge, a Beauty Blender, anything of that sort. But with a thick foundation, I feel like a brush seriously does wonders. So I'm just going to apply this all over my face. It usually takes about 2 pumps, so, but it goes a long way. Then I like to take my brush and just buff it into my face really good. Make sure, you know, it's all even, there's no brush strokes, because sometimes I find that you can do that with brushes. Sometimes you get like little brush strokes that just come in. And like I said, I know it looks so dark, but I promise it really does match. My face and my neck, I kind of always watch when I fake tan because, you know, every night I scrub my makeup off. It scrubs the fake tan off, so I kind of just leave them alone. But it matches. I promise. And anytime you put a foundation on, make sure you really get your hairline good because, you know, your hairline is one of those places that doesn't really tan, so it's going to be stark white. And if you do have a tan like me, you don't want to have, you know, a white mark. That just does not look good. So I always make sure it's really blended in super nice. Sometimes I have to go in with a little bit more. Sometimes I use too much. You know, it's just all about blending and blending and blending. And I think we all know that when it comes to makeup. And sometimes I have found, like with this foundation, it can be a little, not really cakey, but it can be a little different. It's a bigger consistency, so, you know, you kind of have to watch how much you use because a little does go a long way. And now I'm just going to put it on my neck to blend up with my face. So you kind of just have to really play with it, learn how to use it, learn what kind of primers are best for you. I have to watch what I put on my skin, of course, because I have super dry, sensitive skin, and it's like, seriously, like anything can break me out. It's awful. But I've learned with this foundation, you know, it's really good to, of course, use a brush because where it's so much thicker, I found I get better coverage with it. And when I use a sponge, it's like, you know, it shears it out. It's like, where did it all go? And typically I put a little bit more like under my eyes, of course, because I have darker circles. But I'm also going to be doing some cream contouring and some cream highlighting. So I just figured for the sake of this video, I will just wait and not do it today. And then, you know, you want to keep going over it, make sure it's super blended, make sure it's all even, and I always get my jawline really good, because sometimes I found, like, sometimes I forget and I get makeup on, so it's normal, it happens. Okay. And now before I set it all with powder, because I don't want to do that, I'm going to go in with my Wet n Wild Mega Glow Dual-Ended Contour Stick. I swear by this, guys. Like, I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Palette, and it's great. But it is super, super, super hard to use because it's so thick. And this seriously blends out like a dream. Now, when I contour, a lot of people just go, like, straight. I like to take mine and angle it down because it gives the illusion of bigger cheekbones, and it also helps slim your face more than, you know, just as opposed to a straight line. And then I like to take some and put it up on my temples. Not too much, because I like to kind of use more of a powder highlight up there. Take it down my nose, jawline, under my lip. I just contour everywhere. And then on the other side, it's a highlighter. And I just like to take this and, you know, put it where highlighter goes. And sometimes I have to watch with cream contour palette, like products like this, because sometimes they can be super, 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 super heavy on my face, and sometimes it just does not work out very well. Okay, for the highlighter, I'm going to take this little brush, and this is just a brush that I got in my school makeup kits by CAO Cosmetics. It's really great. It's more of like a foundation brush, but I have found with products like this, it really helps to blend out. So I'm just going to go in, buff it into my skin really well. Okay, and now back with my buffing brush, I'm going to take it and just buff out my contour. And instead of taking it and moving my brush like this, I have found that can move the product instead of settling it where you place it. So just literally take your brush, pat it in like a sponge. And then you get this really beautiful highlighted and contoured look. So now, without any further ado, I'm going to do it to the rest of my face. But by all means, if you prefer to use a sponge, use a sponge. Your skin is your skin. You know what works best for you. This is just what works best for me and my dry skin. So. Before the rest of this starts settling, I'm going to go ahead and just blend it out too. My nose is itching. And then for around my temples, I kind of go in really lightly with my brush, and I do circular motions. That way my forehead doesn't get super muddy, because, you know, sometimes that can happen with cream contour palettes, and you have a lot of hair around here. Some people have baby hair, some people have edges. You know, you really just don't want it to get caught up in that hair, so I just lightly go in and blend it out. Bring it down just a little bit to connect it with your cheeks. Let's go in and do the jawline. And typically I'm not the biggest person to do my jawline, but here lately I've been noticing, like, sometimes when you don't contour it, it like disconnects from the rest of your face, and it takes away from the rest of your face that has been contoured or slimmed. And, you know, you just kind of want to do it so you don't get that disconnection, and then it's like, oh, well, what happened? And then I also, like, this is a staple, I always like to contour underneath my bottom lip. Just because, you know, I don't necessarily have full lips, and it kind of makes your lips appear bigger. So, I always like to do that. You know, it's just like little beauty tips that I've just kind of learned along the way since I've been doing makeup. Some things I've learned in school because, you know, I'm a cosmetology student. Actually, you guys didn't know that, but, you know, there's going to be a whole video, like, explaining, like, who I am and blah, 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 all of that good stuff. But that's later to come. So, before any of it starts to crease, I'm going to take my CoverGirl Professional Loose Powder in Translucent. It's actually called 105, but it's translucent. It's colorless, and it's super, super, super good for setting anything. And once again, taking a really super, super, super big CAO Cosmetics. I don't really know what kind of brush this is. I mean, I kind of use it for different things, but we're going to just say it's a setting brush. And just kind of go all over my face and really... this is so much powder. And just honestly set the whole face. Oh, Mama went too hard on the powder. Really make sure you get under the eyes good, because you don't want that powder to crease on you, because whew, creasy powders make big messes. And I also like to take this like just down my neck, because, you know, I do put product in there too. Okay. Now what I really, really love to do, this is one of the staples in my makeup collection, Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. I love it. Can't find anything else that's better than it. It's amazing. This is a Hoola brush that comes with the Benefit Hoola Bronzer. If you don't have it, you can find super cheap alternatives to it. It's just one of the brushes that comes with the Hoola Bronzer. But using this shade right here, it's kind of more of a cool tone gray, while this one is a little bit more of a darker chocolate base. I prefer to use gray. It looks a little bit more natural. And, you know, I'm not super, super tan. I'm just kind of... I'm not white. I'm not dark. I'm kind of just in the middle. But I like to take this in the same way. I go downward in a diagonal instead of just going like straight. So you just want to take this and go on top of those areas that you contoured. This is also going to help set the powder even more. And you just blend until you think you've blended enough. Using that same big fluffy brush, I just kind of go over it and try to blend it even more. And if you want something that's going to be a lot more natural, just set the contour powder with just like a loose translucent powder, anything like that. I just kind of like to have a really defined contour. That's just my preference. You know, everybody has their own preferences. Also using this brush, because up here I kind of don't like it to be as strong as my cheeks, I just tap off the excess. Lightly go on my temples and just all those areas that I also cream contoured. Same with my nose, because I kind of just don't, I like my cheeks to be the main focus. I'm going to take it on the jawline a little bit. It's hitting my earring. And then I'm kind of going to take a little bit more of that loose powder and just kind of place it right here, because It kind of helps sometimes if your makeup does look muddy. Sometimes it just can, just by accident. I kind of just pop some little pieces of translucent powder on it, and it seriously does wonders. Now I'm going to take, this is one of my also staples, I'm going to take the Morphe M458. This technically is called a contour brush, but I use it as a baking brush. And if you're not too familiar with baking, literally I just use like the excess powder I have. You go right under that contour, draw a straight line. It's going to help sharpen it, clean up any messiness there was, and it just makes it look better. Let's be real. It makes it look better. And sometimes I like to take it around my nose a little bit. There we go. And typically I let that sit for the whole other time I do my makeup. Now this is my favorite thing ever. This is the Jaclyn Hill and Becca Cosmetics face palette that just was released, but now it's not. I don't want to say I don't think it's available, but I don't think it's available anymore. But can we just take a moment, please? Like seriously, did she have to do this? Did she have to make us? Our highlight is going to be on fleek until we're grannies. Like, come on, guys, be real. So since I'm kind of more going for a fall look, Champagne Pop is a little bit more pinky. Typically, I mix them both, but for the sake of this video, we're going to take Prosecco Pop. This is a Morphe M438. I'm pretty sure this is also a contour brush, but I use it as a highlight. Come on, guys. Do you see this? Like, do you see this holiness that is on my face right now that I'm calling Prosecco Pop? Now, when I do my highlight, I also like to take it up. That way it doesn't look disconnected, and just blend it up to match the arch of my eyebrows. And I like to go pretty hard with the highlighter, so typically I gotta blend it out really good. And I also like to put this right above the Cupid's bow on the tip of my nose, and I just kind of blend it out with my finger. Sorry, I have color on my finger. That's not a stain. And then right on my chin, blend it out with my finger again. Now, I kind of wait and do blush at the end, because most days I really don't wear blush. I love it, but I'm just more... This summer, for some reason, I've been really into like bronzy contoured looks. So now we're just going to go straight to eyebrows, and... It's in here somewhere, guys. I just gotta find it. There it is. My best friend at school introduced this to me. I never thought I was going to use it. I was like, no, that wouldn't work for me. But it is Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow, and I use the color Soft Brown because my eyebrows are very darker than my hair, because my hair is almost naturally black, and I'm bleach blonde. Shout out to my mom. She does hair. And before I do anything, I like to always just kind of brush my eyebrows. You know, what they say, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. This one's a good one. This one is, I don't know. It's getting there, though. It's getting good. We're in the process of it. And I just kind of like to map out how I want my eyebrows to look. And then using this little mini Anastasia brush. I don't know, it's so cute. I love it. I always just go in, put a little bit on, take a little bit off, you know. You know how it goes. And I like to start at the front of my eyebrow and just lightly feather it in. And then I just kind of outline how I want it to look, and then I go in and I kind of fill it in a little bit more heavier. And a good thing about this brush is, like, when I first bought this, I had never used an Anastasia product ever. And I bought it in a gift set, and it had, like, a powder duo, which I like them, but I like Dip Brow a lot better. I'm going to be very biased. And it came with this little mini brush. It came with, like, a full-size powder duo that was too light for me. It was, like, medium blonde, and I just kind of bought it for the brush. Point. It also had a full-size clear brow gel, and now that's the only thing I use. It's like a staple, only thing I use. I'm going to fill it in a little bit more because my eyebrows are a little bit sparse. Kind of clean it up, make sure it's really blended. And voila. That's the good eyebrow. Now this eyebrow won't look like that, but don't judge that. It's getting there. It will look like that eyebrow one day. And they look pretty similar to me. I mean, like I said, I'm not a super big perfectionist. I mean, of course, I don't like my eyebrows to look messy or bulky or anything. But as long as they look similar, you know, that's perfectly fine with me. Now taking the Anastasia clear, that was terrible. I gotta get used to this, guys. I'm sorry. Using the Anastasia Beverly Hills clear brow gel, I'm just gonna set my eyebrows. And this is like eyebrow super glue. Let me tell you guys, I can't use anything else. Including for all you girls or guys out there that have curly eyebrows, like, this is heaven. Like, even on my days when I don't wear makeup, even if I have to go to work or anywhere out and about, I seriously slap this on my eyebrows, and people will ask me, like, oh my gosh, like, your eyebrows look so good, what do you use on them? And then I'm like, oh, I don't have anything on them today, like. Okay, and those take a few minutes to dry. They will stay a tad bit tacky, but, you know, that's okay. Now to start with, you know, oops, sorry. Now to start with, seriously, like, my favorite part of any makeup tutorial, it's the eyeshadow. And today I'm also going to be using a Morphe palette. I own several of these palettes. I love them. The price is very great. Pigmentation quality is amazing, better than some eyeshadow palettes I have. And I have a lot. Like, a lot. But this one is a 35W. It's called the 35 Warm palette. And it is very warm, but there's also a pretty good variety of, you know, some cool shades, some neutrals. You got a lot of shimmers. You got two good blacks. This one has, like, some fine glitter in it. Kind of not the biggest fan of it, but, you know, it's okay. I make it work sometimes. And then, you know, you have all of these down here, which are great transition shades. And then you got some peachy ones. This mustard colored, brownish taupe. Oh, it's great. I love it for my transition shade. So, anytime you do eyeshadow, you want to start out with a transition shade just because it's going to help blend out the rest of the colors. So, we are going to take these two colors right here, mix them in together really good, and just pop this on the eyelid, the crease, anywhere you're feeling fancy, you do it. And as you can see, whenever I blend out my eyeshadow, I use the windshield wiper motions. And then when I get to, like, the inner and outer corners, I like to do some circular motions just because I find it helps create the shape I want. And it helps blend out any harsh edges that might be there. Okay. I'm feeling fancy. What do I want to do? Taking this really dark kind of It's more on the red side. It has very red undertones, but it's kind of like a muted burgundy. We're going to take this and keep it very low in your crease. And if you have trouble looking where your crease is, you can always tilt your head back and look for the hollows of your eyes. I've done it for so long, I kind of just know where mine is, but I like to take it and just lightly, as you can see, put it there and take it around the rim of my eye. Keep it very low, because you don't want to have raccoon eyes. I've done that before. Don't do that. Don't be that person. And you literally will blend and blend and blend until you feel like your hand's gonna fall off. But that's makeup. But as you can see, this eye is a lot more defined than this one. This one's a lot more smoky and blended out. This one is just kind of, you know, all that's on there is the transition shade. So like I said again, take this chestnut color, tap off the excess, look for your crease, and lightly go in. I really like how basic this eye looks like. I know that sounds so weird, but I just really, really, really enjoy how smoky and simple it is. And a disclaimer, most of the time I go in and clean up my eyebrows, but today was actually a really good eyebrow day, so I didn't have to do that. But whenever I do, I typically like to take my Anastasia contour palette, and as you can see, I go hard on that shade right there, but it seriously gives you the prettiest under eye highlight for your brows. It accentuates your arches, and it's just, it blends out really easily when you learn how to use it right. Like, I kind of warm it up on the back of my hand, and there's just several tips. I'm going to do an in-depth tutorial when I use that palette. I'm just in the process of getting some different brushes because I want it to, I just really want to make sure it's going to be a good video. I want to make it right for you guys, and I want to make sure, you know, what I use, you will be able to have access to as well. So, be looking for that. And I'm just going to keep blending and blending just until I seriously get the payoff that I like, because seriously, one thing I cannot handle is harsh lines, including with me, because I have very deep set hooded eyes. So it's like if there's any lines at all, you will see them. Okay, now this is the desired smokiness I have. I love it. It's very, very subtle. It's very purpley, very burgundy-ish, and you know, I kind of want to match it up to what I have on. So, for the next color, we are going to take this darker kind of in between purple and black, but it also has some very gray undertones. So we're going to take this color, lightly go in on the outer corner. Do circular motions. And then as you can see now, this eye has a lot more definition on the outer crease, and then in the inner portion of the eye it looks very neutral and very natural, which is very good, because you know, you don't want to bring these super dark colors all the way in, because then your eyes are going to look very hooded and it can give the effect of a black eye. And then as you can see on this eye, it's kind of there, but it's not as definite as this one. So like I said, we're going to take this color again, tap off the excess, put it on the outer corner. This eye kind of has a little bit more product on it, so I'm just going to I'm so sorry. I'm going to grab another blending brush. This is seriously like the first makeup brush I have ever owned. My mom gave it to me like when I started doing makeup, about maybe when I was like 12. So this is just a Mary Kay brush. I don't even think they make it anymore, but it seriously is like so good. I love it. I've kept it for all these years because I just can't part with it. And it's a lot more flatter and more square, so you know it really helps to get in the crease. And as you can see, it's already made a difference. So I'm just kind of putting it in the outer corner like this and just blending it and keeping it very low in the crease. And just going back and forth. Oh, kind of broke my brush. Oh no, I didn't. So going back and forth, I'm just going to keep blending and blending. Now, I really like how this looks. This is perfectly fine by me. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, and we're getting ready to go on for lid color also. So, for my lid color, I'm not going to use anything in the Morphe palette. I actually have two different options of what you guys can use. They're both very affordable. This is a ColourPop eyeshadow. These retail for $5. This one is called Get Lucky. And I'm just going to do like a little swatch. Like, as you can see, very pigmented. But for this look, I feel like I kind of want to do more of the silver-based. Let me wipe my hand off really quick. Very rose goldish, kind of silvery. So I'm going to take this L'Oreal Infallible Single Eyeshadow. It's called Amber Rush. Jaclyn Hill showed this to me. And like I saw this on her video like way back when, and I went and bought it. And I've hardly ever used it. I'm like, why? Why, lady, why? Now, actually, I'm not going to use this brush. I'm going to use a different one. Using this little pencil brush from Posh Cosmetics. I'm pretty sure I got this at Kmart like years ago. Just going to dip it in there. And I'm going to precisely put it on only the inner because I don't want to take it where we just put the outer color because that's just going to take away from all of the work we just did. Repeat the same thing on the other side. This just got in my mouth. This just really got in my mouth. And anytime after I do eyeshadow, I really just like to take a brush and make sure I get all of the excess off under my eyes. Because you don't want to go out in public and people be like, what's on her face? What's going on? And now taking that brush, I just want to go in and like blend out any harsh lines. I'm going to add a little bit more on this eye. Here we go. Now taking a very precise pencil brush, this one is the Morphe M149, and just taking the two transition shades that we used earlier, I'm just going to go under my lash line. And pack this on underneath. And then going in with this little rich chocolatey maroonish burgundy shade, lightly place it very close to your lower lash line. And then taking the Mary Kay brush, just go in and just kind of blend it out a little bit more. And then taking that little pencil brush again, I'm going to take some more of the amber brush, an eye boogie, and place it in the inner corner. And then I just want to blend out the edges so they're not harsh. And now to complete the eye look, I'm going to use, well, this is a Morphe brush, but there's no number on it. I'm so sorry. This is a brush by Morphe. I seriously have no idea what one it is. I just remember buying it and using it. Taking this little light, just brow highlight shade, I'm going to place it underneath my brow bone. And now, just to give my eyes a little bit more pop, I'm going to take some of the Prosecco Pop and place it just where the arch of my eyebrow is, and then blend it down. Not like down into your eyeshadow, like down your brow bone. And now, please let this be a good day. Please let this be a good eyeliner day, because we're going to do wings. And I really don't want to have to do this whole video over again, but I will for you guys. Okay. Oh, and this is the NYX Vinyl Liquid Liner. It's one of the best I have ever used. There's somebody outside my apartment and they just heard me talking and they were like, who is she talking to? What you will do for your YouTube, love? Hallelujah. Okay, now let's hope this eye turns out. Just got eyeliner all over my hand. This one might be a little bit higher than this one, but you know what? Yellow. It's okay. Just to kind of make them match up a little bit more, I'm going to go in with this color in Anastasia palette. Take a little concealer brush. Go underneath the wing. Blend away your imperfections. Now, for mascara, I typically like to mix mascaras, but these seriously are two of my ride or dies. First, I like to take the Wet n Wild Max Fanatic Cat Eye Mascara. This is what the wand looks like. It's mostly for volumizing your lashes, and I like to lightly go in, do a coat or two. It depends on how I'm feeling. Does anybody else make weird mascara faces? Because I do, and sometimes I can't handle what I do. Like, sometimes I'll be like, oh my god, that's like the Kim K face. Like, no. Then after I do just a coat or two of that mascara, I like to take a Wet n Wild Max Volume Plus mascara, but I don't know why for some reason this one gives my lashes more length. This one does more volume, but they're supposed to be switched. I know it does not make sense, but you take it up with my eyelashes. I don't know. And then just taking whatever is left over from this mascara, I like to hit it on my bottom lashes. Sorry, I gotta get right up in the mirror for this one, guys. But as you can see, that just makes a crazy amount of difference. And now, since the eyes are done, the final part is the lips. Here lately, I've been wanting to do something. I think I just ruined the whole video. I'll try to cut that out. Anyways, here lately I've been really, really loving a burgundy lip. So I'm going to take the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Budapest, I think is what it's called. And now I'm going to go in, take my brush, blend away my bake, even though it was kind of already gone anyways. And you know what? I'm feeling extra fancy. I just want to be super glowy today. It's not like I'm already not, but you know, that's besides the point. And I really hope you guys enjoyed. This is the finished product. As you can see, it's still kind of summery, but it's also on the fall side. You can definitely switch up the lip, give it maybe more of a nude, and you can definitely turn it into summertime, do less of a smokiness, maybe more silver, maybe some more warmer tones and not cool tones, and you can definitely make it summer appreciated. But I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to try to shoot another video next week, but thank you all so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed.